Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and another episode of Will It Run. And today we have a Toro Super Recycler 6.5 horsepower Briggs & Stratton motor on it. So pick this guy up once again on Facebook Marketplace. The seller described it as running when parked, which they all do, so I'm sure this just needs a quick carb clean. But regardless, we have the bag with it. It is a personal pace self-propelled model. And we're just going to do some quick checks to see if we can get a test start and see if it's worth fixing up. Overall, not seeing any scrapes or rust, so everything looks nice and good. We'll just do our typical checks, and I think we'll spray a little bit of starting fluid in the carb and see if she starts, and we'll go from there on some of the repairs we got to do. So first thing we'll do is we'll take a look at the gas tank in here. Clean as a whistle and dry, so that might be a good sign. Still probably needs a clean if it hasn't been run in many years, but it's not too bad. And we'll take a quick look at engine oil. Dirty, but within our full mark. So go ahead, close that guy up. We will get you set down on a stand and take a look at that air cleaner. Okay. Oh, we got the pre-cleaner too. Pre-filter. So this guy's dirty, but take a look. Spray a little bit of carb clean in there and see what we can get. Little sputter, not bad. Give it one more spray before we dig into it. Well, that's good enough in my books. We have pretty much everything except fuel. I'm hesitant to throw gas in there. I'm thinking, just to save us the time and the mess, we'll just dig right into the carb, and I'll see if I have any air filters lying around to throw a fresh one on there. So give us a second and we'll see what we got. So we'll pop this cover off. It looks like it's just two Phillips head screws right there. This guy, there's a clip back here, but he's out a little bit, and we'll take a look at this recoil start too. Obviously it's not supposed to be back here, it should be more up on one of the arms over there, so that just might be a part we have to order. So go ahead, get this guy in. That should be it. Take this guy off. And this gives us a lot better access to our carb and all the linkages as well. And we'll get our air filter assembly off with 1, 2, 3 bolts right there. And we'll be sure to pick those guys up so we don't lose them. Quick note just to disconnect our breather down there, and we have access to the carb. Let's see how long I wrestle with this guy before I actually go downstairs and get the right tool for this. Yep, be right back. Much better. Go ahead, wiggle this guy off. Although seem a little bit stuck. I have extra fuel line if we need it, but I'm hoping I can save this guy. Come on, there we go. Oh, a little bit of fuel. And then to get the actual carb off the intake, there's 1 and 2 bolts right there we gotta remove. Disconnect our throttle linkage right there, gently, or not so gently. And there we go. Carb nice and removed. Now, did damage the gasket right here. I'm going to try to see if we can get by when we reinstall this. Maybe put a little dab of gasket maker right there just to create a little bit of an extra seal, but on our intake side on our engine right here we have an O-ring. Make sure not to lose that guy, and we'll use that to seal up the engine side. So we will take you to the bench and dig into this carb. Or not, I guess we'll just stay outside where there's a little bit more light and we'll see. Ooh, yeah, we have gas. It's a little yellowy. Not seeing any water in it though, so that's good. Didn't think this went through, but we're gonna try that again. There we go. Try not to get too much gas on the nice power tools. There we go. Okay. So, main jet right there. I don't know if you guys can see it, but we've got some good old gunk in there. So, that'll need to get cleaned out. Our bowl, our bowl looks clean on the bottom. Not seeing too many deposits, but we'll still give that a little spray with the carb clean. Float operates as it should. The pin is falling out though, so that's fun. Stick that in the bowl. Needle looks nice and clean. Nothing too bad there. Looking into our carb, pretty clean, not gonna lie, but we will inspect down this main tube. We got 2 jets right there. We have our seat right there where the fuel comes in from the fuel line. Then we have just a couple more passages we'll go ahead and clean out as well. Of course, battery dies while I'm cleaning the carb and putting everything back together, but essentially just prod all of the jets with a little bit of wire. The order for the ultrasonic still on its way, so we'll see. Once we get that, it might be a little bit easier to clean these guys off, just throw them in and forget about them. But we just put everything back together, same thing as reverse, just throw some bolts back together, and then we'll see if she starts. Okay, what you saw right there and that revving, it's a little bit of hunting. Probably need to give it another round of cleaning. We'll take a look, maybe add a little bit of seafoam and see if that cleans anything up. I know that stuff is said to clean injectors, clean all of your valves and stuff like that. Maybe it can do something with the carb jets, but we'll see. I did take a look at the air filters I had on hand. Unfortunately, all of them are smaller than the one that needs to go in there, so a quick order for that guy will be on its way. So we'll go ahead, add a little bit of seafoam and see if that helps. So I attempted to cannibalize this little bolt kind of lever arm thingy off of that guy onto this guy, and it's kind of weird when we go to pull. That's as far as I get, like maybe half of a turn right there on the flywheel. So I'm going to dig into that guy and see maybe our string is too short or our spool is something's wrong with it. We'll get it apart. And there's one more 3/8 bolt underneath here, but unfortunately we have to remove this side discharge chute plastic thingy for the bagger in order to reach it, because it's way tucked in there. So go ahead, get that. Again, that's a 3/8, and that'll allow us to take the gas tank off, and then we can take the tin off up there with the recoil. We got one more down in there. There we go. Be sure not to lose that guy, and as we take this off, just remember, don't start your mower or try to start it without this plastic guard in place, just because we don't know what's going to come flying out of there and into our faces. So go ahead and continue with this gas tank removal. The bolt, you can't really see it under here, and I can't either, but it's a 3/8, and all you have to do is loosen it, and be careful because there's a spacer over here as well. So bolt and spacer. Of course, you're zoomed in way too much. There you go. And now we can easily remove the gas tank, being careful of our fuel line that we still have clipped off right there so we don't spill anything. Now to take this tin off that houses the recoil, you'll need to use a 5/16 on this oil fill nozzle right there to take that guy out of the way. And then the rest are just 3/8, which you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and I could have sworn there was a 5th one, but it looks like we just have 4, so go ahead and get to it. This guy just lifts up and out of the way. I'll take care of these 4. Set those bolts aside, and we will carefully remove our tin right here. I do feel a little resistance, but there we go. So this guy looks like it's been replaced before. In fact, looks like the previous owner used, looks to be a shoelace or something like that. That explains our lack of travel on this guy. So that shows why when we have it on our mower, usually it's near the handlebars where you can go ahead and pull your pull start, but this guy is wanting to stick really low. So it's a new day. Our ultrasonic cleaner came in the mail. So I'm going to take our carb off, get that guy ready, and while our ultrasonic cleaner is doing its thing, we also have parts to fix our recoil starter. So that'll be good to take care of. So we'll get the carb off once again and fix this recoil in the meantime. So while our ultrasonic cleaner is warming up, we can go ahead and repair our pull starter. Now, to repair a pull starter on a lawnmower or any other small engine, you're really only going to need three things. You'll need your housing, which the old string is in, a screwdriver or some sort of just blocking mechanism for a recoil assembly, and then the new string and starter part right there. So this guy is a Briggs & Stratton part number 5042, but there are also two other ones, 691915 and 280399S as in Sam. Now, I don't know the exact size of the cord that's required for this specific application, so that's why I bought the genuine part right there. So what I'm going to do is measure what comes in the actual part number, so that way I don't have to keep ordering this exact combination every single time I need to repair something. I can just buy the pull rope in bulk and then just cut to length for any specific application. So in this instance, this is a Toro lawnmower, we're going to need a little bit more length because the pull starter handle actually sits up on the handle of the lawnmower itself and it doesn't sit in the engine like you would see in something like this. So what I'll do is I will crack this guy open, take a measurement, and then I'll let you guys know as well, so just in case you have a Toro lawnmower or any other lawnmower for that matter. This is running a Briggs & Stratton engine, so maybe their recoil assembly takes the same amount of rope across all engine lineups. But we'll get a measurement of that so that way in the future we can just buy the string and we don't have to have the extra cable or the extra handle, and then we can go from there. So go ahead and crack into this guy. So I went ahead and measured this guy out. Our kit includes 8 feet of pull cord. I'm sure this is probably more than what we need for our actual mower, but just to be safe, if you guys want to order 8 feet if you're doing this yourself and want to retain the handle, that'd probably be a safe measurement. I'll let you know what we use in the end just in case we can cut that down, but I would assume just to be safe go with 8 feet. Now our handle that came with our kit is fairly small compared to our original one that you guys see right here. This has a better grip to it, so I am just going to try to reuse this handle if I can. That way it will just be easier to operate. Now, first thing we want to do is take our recoil assembly and pull out all of the cable that's being stored in here. Now once we reach our maximum point, what you're going to want to do is take your screwdriver or some other device and you're going to want to stick it in between the fins right here. That way it will prevent this guy from rotating as you're working on it. Because what we're going to end up doing is we want this guy fully in its pulled out position. That way when we feed the new wire in, as we release this guy, once our new wire is all tied up, it will pull in our spool. So we'll go ahead and cut this guy off. And a sharp pair of scissors or a utility knife probably would be better than the dull pair that I'm using right here. But anyway, we can pull that guy out. And what we're going to do is take one end of our string, feed it through this guy right here, and we're going to tie a knot on the inside here. So we're just going ahead, taking a simple knot, and we'll feed this guy further up like that. We'll cut off some of the excess just because we don't want want too much hanging out in here. And then we can pull this guy back in its position right here. Now, to use our old handle, it comes in two pieces like this. So you'll see probably it'll look something just like a one piece. Just take a screwdriver on this guy, pry it up a little bit. I already took out the old string, but here you can see how it fits in. So what we'll do is we'll take our new cord, fish it through this bottom base piece right here, pull that guy through, and then go through this top piece up here as well. And this guy, just to be safe, I will double knot it, just because. So we'll go with one. And then another. Go through. And there we go. So we got a double knot right there. We'll slide this guy into place in our top portion of the handle, and then we will just attach it to our bottom portion right here. There we go, nice and strong. We can go ahead and release this guy. And now we should have enough cord that we can reattach this guy, and this will snap right back onto our lawnmower handle. So we'll go ahead and get it back on. And with our new pull start installed, we can go ahead and put our tins back on our engine. Good. Now, for our moment of truth, we go ahead, pan up. This guy should fit nicely up here. And there we go. Perfect. And we can get our recently cleaned carburetor reinstalled as well. And this will just be a test for us to see whether or not we need to order a new one. The ultrasonic came in, so hopefully that will have done the trick for us. So reconnect our linkage up here. That guy on right there. Reconnect up to the engine. And I know a piece of gasket just popped off. We will get that guy patched up as well. With our tin and carb on, we can then go ahead and connect up our gas tank. And to do that, you just have to make sure that you have the cord running through it. We'll connect up our top bolts. We got 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we'll get on the underside with our bolt and spacer to connect the bottom portion of the gas tank. And with our gas tank on, we can now reconnect our chute deflector, which this guy just fits in right here. Now we have 2 bolts back here that we have to bolt in, a side bolt right there, and then our spring on the other side. So we'll go ahead and get our 3 main bolts on, and then the spring after that. Then after we get our chute deflector on, we can go ahead and reinstall our plastic cover. This guy, as you can remember, 2 screws, one there, and then there is a back clip in here. So we'll actually go ahead and clip the back side in first. Then reinstall the screws. So that guy's on nice and tight. And we can go on to our last item, which will be to reinstall our air filter. And so to get our air filter on, we just have 3 small bolts and then connecting up this breather. So I will do my best to try to reattach that gasket right there, although probably won't want to set. So we got our breather connected in. Slowly install that guy and that guy as we drop our light. But we got those 2 guys and then one up here that we have to connect up. Then it's just a matter of taking our new clean air filter and pre-filter, hinging it on this guy right here, and screwing in this top bolt right up here. And there we go. Now we should be able to add some gas, do a quick start, and hope that everything runs nice and smooth. If not, and we're still getting carburetor issues, we may need to buy a clone carb, which luckily is not that expensive. So hopefully our ultrasonic did its job and we can just run this guy right here. So we'll add some gas, take it outside. So we got fresh gas in the tank, and because spill-proof gas cans aren't worth their weight in dirt or anything, we managed to spill some too, but taking a look, I'm not seeing any leaks from any of the fuel lines, from the carb. So we're just gonna prime the system. Obviously, we're gonna need the bowl to fill up with gas, so I'm expecting a couple of pulls to get it started from empty, but we'll see what we got. I would call that a success. Now, you did notice that it was hunting a little bit, and that was mainly due to the fact that our bowl wasn't filled up with fuel, and it was just lack of gas flowing into the system. But obviously, you would see that cutting out also when you were running low on gas if you were mowing your lawn. So I'm gonna go ahead, try to fire that guy up one more time, just to make sure that was the case. I didn't put too much in the can, obviously, because it's winter time right now, and we won't get this guy out until next spring. So I will throw a little bit of stable in the tank, fire it up again, and just make sure that we are running properly and there are no issues with the carburetor. So, as always, 1 ounce does 2.5 gallons. I don't nearly have any of that in there, so we'll put about 1/4 ounce into our system. So what the guy poured in, cap everything up. We'll kind of jostle the fuel back and forth, just so that way the stable mixes, and as we run our lawnmower, the stable should go through the carb and stabilize everything in there. So let's see what we get. Okay, first pull, that's what I like. Our self-propel system works, which is great, so this guy is ready for the spring. The only 2 things that I'm gonna wanna do, one, change out the oil, get that old stuff out of there, get some fresh, clean stuff in, and then we will want to sharpen the blade as well. So, pardon the background noise, but I think we're looking good on this mower. So, I won't show you guys changing the oil or sharpening the blades. That's a fairly standard process, and I know I do have a video on blade sharpening, so I think we'll call it on this one. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. I know this one has been a little bit difficult, but overall paid out in the end. I'm glad we have that ultrasonic cleaner. It definitely made quick work of that carb, and now she's running fairly well. So thank you guys for hanging out, and with that, we'll catch you in the next one.